Okay, I have this DR brush mower I picked up, the Premier 26. I believe it's about their base model. And I've got some heavy brush here. Clear the best I could with pole saw, trim the trees up. I still got some heavy brush right here. And right over there, I'm gonna work on this with. See what we can do. Get it done, make it look better. Midway, finally got through that fort of thorny branches. Starting to look more like a tree now. So I'm just about to brush hog all that underneath and then trim it just a little bit more. I think it'll look pretty nice. Well, this is after. Looking a lot better. It's looking a little top heavy, but that's because there were so many limbs along the bottom. It really made that trunk grow big. So, but the limbs are still kind of hanging down, and I just want to get it good and cleaned up. That'll make a great shade tree. So looking forward to what that's going to become. So a million times better. Okay, it's the start of another project here. This is the fence line. Severely overgrown. My goal is not to necessarily clean this fence line entirely because I want to maintain some privacy, but I want to limb all the trees so that I can actually get under there with a bush hog or a tractor or anything, just because it's kind of just so invasive. It's growing. I would say there's probably about maybe about 6 feet or more in some places of the fence, from the fence to the actual where we mow right now. So got to change that. Well, this is probably about an hour's worth of work, maybe even a little less. Got this kind of cleaned up. And again, my goal is not really to take everything down, even though that's kind of what it's doing the bottom half, which is fine, but I mainly just want to be able to get under there with a bush hog without worrying about me having to duck and stuff so much. Kind of reclaim several feet of land. So my plan is to do it just like this, all the way down and all the way around. Well, this is what we've got done so far. I'd say that's the majority, or about half the fence line rather, maybe a little over. What makes it a little challenging is coming up to this guy's fence. I come with that brush mower, I've got to just keep going up and back a little bit. And so it's a little hard. Another thing that slows me down are these big cedars. They're growing all the way down. A lot of them have vines in between. And there's just so many limbs that actually go all the way down. It takes me a while to cut. And if you notice on them cedars, just at how many knots I've got. All those were branches. So now today, got this big cedar where we're going to start. I just work our way down. Just work our way down to right around that corner. So I think it should start picking up once I get past. I think it should start picking up once I get past these two cedars. So let's get started. Well, I pretty much got done what I wanted to get done, and I'm pretty satisfied with it because everything else I'm gonna need a tractor. I'm gonna have to wait, you know, lift and push logs and really get a brush hog and get in there good. This is the way it looks all the way down. Big difference, lots of brush came out. Okay, I used this pretty much for the whole project. I wanted to do a quick, it's about to rain, so I'm gonna kind of be in a hurry. But I want to do a quick overall assessment so far. I've used pretty much for the entire project, I've used a pole saw and this almost exclusively, a little mower, but mostly this. I had to take the cover off, which I'm about to show you why. Overall, it performed very well, it cut very well. There's a few complaints I have, but before I get to that, let me just also give y'all a little troubleshooting tip. I'm not very mechanical, so I don't know, I'm assuming it shorts out. But if you're ever cutting brush, and this spark plug wire ever comes over here and gets that muffler, it will short out and won't start. So it took me a little while to figure that out. So if somehow it runs and all of a sudden it just cuts out, check that wire. And as long as, you know, if it's got gas and stuff. Now, as far as my complaints, it's kind of dried up now, but for some reason, right around this gas can area, while I'm using it, it will just keep dripping gas. And I've tightened it, I've tried to re-put it back on in case I had it crooked. It doesn't appear to be a hole, but I'm thinking through the vibration, it just comes out. So that's the one issue. The other issue is it seems to be very difficult to go from first gear. You can find first gear, it's very hard to find second gear. I've got to go all the way to the third and then nudge it to get to second gear. One gear is too slow for almost anything, in my opinion. The last complaint, and probably my biggest complaint, is my belt fell off today. So I opened it up to see why, and that is why. They use plastic pulleys. This is a metal one, and so is that main drive one in the back. But this tensioner here, I'm doing this with one hand, this tensioner here is plastic, and I can't believe that. I did not pay attention to it, so this is something that the infomercials will not show you. But if you know, you do your research and you decide to go with this, because I know there's other brands that are higher, a lot more expensive, but it's probably, I'm sure, better quality. So for the money, I'm still deciding. I mean, I think it's worth it, especially because when I'm done and get a tractor, I'm probably gonna, you know, sell it, and just because I'll be using the bush hog. But as far as a poor man's bush hog, I think it is worth it. But that is a huge disappointment. Plastic pulleys, I mean, I was very shocked to see that. I mean, that's really cutting corners. That's DR really cutting corners. And again, this is the DR Premier 26, which is pretty much their base model. I mean, the deck is tough, the blade is tough as nails, but like I said, I'm disappointed, terribly disappointed in that plastic pulley, the leaking gas can, and the gear shifter. So, but that's definitely my biggest complaint in the gas. So anyway, just wanted to kind of show you what it's capable of. That's pretty much what I've used it for. You know, just going in there and just backing in and out. And this thing is a horse. It's a workhorse. Just wish they used better quality components, and I'm sure on the next level they probably do. But I mean, come on, you know, for this kind of money and doing this kind of work, you're not just mowing, you know, just something light. This is a brush hog, so that kind of, I'm just very disappointed. So anyway, starting to sprinkle, so I'm gonna go. I hope y'all enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe for more. Thanks.